Dominguez, London Boxing, here with the recap of last night's event. Before I begin, go ahead and click subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Even if you disagree with me, it's just fine. We appreciate the support. Now, last night at the theater in Grand Prairie's own Vergil Ortiz Jr. took on Antonio Relentless Orozco in a great fight. Vergil, as we pointed out, he started out really well in the first round. Orozco answered back in the second, and he also answered back in the fourth and the fifth. Now, we kind of touched on it a little bit as far as Vergil's a little bit of inexperience. Orozco was outboxing him in the fourth and fifth round. Orozco has a lot of experience. Orozco is really good. He's 28-1. He was 28-1 at going into the fight. The only guy that stopped him beat him was Jose Ramirez, now unified champion. So he was working Vergil. In the fifth round, he landed a really good leaping left hook, right square on Vergil's face. And up at that point in the fifth round, there was a lot of redness going on Vergil Ortiz's face. He kept getting pinned on the ropes early on. Orozco came in with a really good game plan, but okay, in Major League Baseball, they have the home runs. In the NBA, they have the three-point shot. In boxing, we have what's called power shots. Power shots are the greatest equalizer in the sport of boxing. Vergil has that in abundance. He came out in the sixth round. I'm not sure what Robert Garcia told him to motivate him, but he raised it up a notch. He scored 3 knockdowns in the sixth. The first one, he landed an uppercut. It dropped Orozco. On the second, he started landing some of those lethal counter right hands that we touched on in the preview, and it dropped him again. And finally, he landed a right-left combo to the head that dropped Orozco and was waved off by referee Mark Malloy. And Vergil made a statement in his hometown, in his home city. He made a statement in the welterweight division, so 147 pounds. He did, but he did learn from this fight. He had to go into the sixth round for the first time in his career, and Orozco pushed him. Orozco definitely pushed him, and it was great matchmaking by Golden Boy to see where Vergil was at this point in his career, and he passed with flying colors. This was a major, emphatic win, and it sent shockwaves through the 147-pound division, and we're very glad that Vergil won. That was a good one. Now, I want to touch on the rest of the fights. The co-main event was for the NABF and WBA International Bantamweight title. San Antonio's Joshua Franco and Oscar Negrete, they were fighting for the third time. They came away with a draw. Watching this fight live, I remember telling myself, I am so glad I do not have to judge this fight. These two bantamweights are just very, very even. They know each other very well at this point in the trilogy, and they came away with a draw. I had it a draw as well. I mean, these guys it was a great fight. It was a great fight. Much respect to both of them, and we actually have footage of when I got a chance to interview Joshua Franco. Negrete came up from behind him and embraced him, gave him a hug. And Franco returned the embrace. It was mutual respect, and that's what the sport is all about. You duke it out in the ring, but afterwards it's all love, it's all family. You know, it's a business, and it's a cool moment. So check out our Facebook page, Inside the Ring with Manny Herrera and Sean Hicks. The bout before that one was a lightweight bout between Hector Tanajara and Ezequiel Aviles. And Hector Tanajara, he really impressed me. He improved to 18-0, and man, Tanajara is just a flat-out boxer. He can just fight. He has great ring generalship, a very stiff jab, great defense. I will say, there is a little bit, if his power just carried just a little bit, it would be a complete fighter. But even without it, he'll box your socks off. I was really impressed by Hector Tanajara and what he can do. Very eager to see who they match him up against in his next fight. So definitely watch out for Tanajara. He's from the same area as Franco. They're both San Antonio boys, and they had a lot of fans in attendance. The previous bout before that one was in the welterweight division, 10 rounds between Marcelino Lopez knocked out Daniel Echeverria. Marcelino Lopez is from Argentina. He improves to 36-2-1 with 21 knockouts. He knocked him out in the 5th round. Lopez was actually getting outboxed early on. He was actually getting outworked. But again, that equalizer is the power. Trainer Joel Diaz says that Marcelino Lopez is the strongest puncher in his stable. And that's not a comment to be taken lightly, because Joel Diaz is very well respected in the fight game. And if he says this about Marcelino Lopez, you have to take that into account. The previous bout before that one was Austin's Trevell Mazion. He improved to 15-0 over Jeremy Ramos. As welterweights, Trevell had what I'm calling the best ring entrance. There was no music. It was a moment of silence. Everybody in attendance. He told everybody in attendance to raise their phones brightness and raise them up in honor of the El Paso victims. And Trevell, I thought that was pretty brilliant in his part, since Austin's kind of close to El Paso. Really, it's in Texas, and everybody felt it, so everybody was very eager to take part in it. He imposed his will in the fight, and that's impressive, coming off a year layoff with a torn bicep. And he got a bit careless and reckless at times, taunting his opponent, and he got tagged for it. But like they say in the fight game, no means yes. So, you know, other than that, he pretty much imposed his will. Scores were 80-71 and 78-73 times 2 in favor of Black Magic Trevell Mazion. The previous bout before that one was Alex Rincon, local hometown fighter from Carrollton. He scored a sensational knockout over Joel Guevara in the 2nd round with an emphatic right hook to the temple. Dropped Guevara, ended his night. Alex, he's a lot bigger than what I thought. He's a big boy, and it was a great knockout. We look forward to seeing what he's gonna do next. The previous bout before that one was a professional debut of Tristan Calcruz. There were a lot of Tristan fans in attendance. The only thing more impressive about Tristan's stoppage win was his post-fight celebration. I have to give him credit for his post-fight celebration. It was the best post-fight celebration. He's 6'4". He did a backflip in the ring. That's that kind of raw athleticism, being that tall, that big. He's a special guy. So we'll continue to watch him. He's a cruiserweight. He improves to 1-0. The bout before that one, Hector Valdez. He improved to 11-0. Scores were 59-54, 58-55 twice. He ended the fight in fashion, landed some good shots, and then displayed some of that elusiveness. And we have some footage of that on our Facebook page. The second bout of the evening was the other half of Team Rincon, George Rincon. He scored what I'm calling the knockout of the night. It was a very vicious right hook to the temple in one of the corners, where Enrique Escobar collapsed with his foot caught in between his legs, so it was very awkward. But that's what happens when you get laid out, or how they would say in Friday, knocked out. And Rincon just put the glove on him and he collapsed. It was done. The referee just immediately waved it off. A great knockout for Jorge Rincon, what I'm calling the knockout of the night. The first bout was Joshua Juarez. It was a unanimous decision, 60-54, 59-55, 58-56. He improves to 9-0, and he's from Laredo, Texas. And he improves to 9-0. Overall, a great night of boxing, a great night of events. I want to thank Golden Boy Promotions for the all-access credentials. We put in the best that we could. We attended the media workouts, the weigh-ins. We wrote some preview pieces, and we really appreciate the opportunity for that. I want to shout out Liliana Ulloa from Chicana Boxing. Check out her stuff. And just keep it locked here. Hopper, check it out.